Hi. Well, yesterday, cut down the old oak tree. Has been on my mind for quite a while. Because it happened to grow in a really bad place. I was hanging over my neighbor's um, power line. And we can't have that. So, with a whole lot of luck, that almost went all the way completely wrong. It fell over. Working on my Mighty Mac here, in case you hadn't noticed. That is Mighty Mac, because it is mighty. Anyway, you only got to see the part where I cut the tree down. You didn't get to see the part where I had my ass all the way up in that tree. There's a reason for that. Because I ain't a young man anymore, and that scares the crap out of me. Being up in a tree that high with two bad shoulders, trying to hold my old ass up. But I did manage, with some help from my neighbors, to get, oh crap, threw that in the wrong place, didn't I? Never find that. And that's amongst all this junk. And no, I don't keep a well-maintained working area, because I don't want to. And amazingly, I know where everything is. But anyway, I had one big limb hanging over my carport and one big limb hanging over the line that goes to his house. And I had to get them down before we get the tree down, which I didn't intend on taking that tree down the way we took it down, but scared. So that's the way that went. Hang on a second. Do some maintenance. Anyway, limb overhanging my carport basically almost went horribly wrong. Because I climbed a stupid tree, strapped my stupid self to a stupid tree with a ratchet strap. I wouldn't advise doing that, but that's what had happened. So I cut the limb on the side of it so it would, in an angle. So hopefully when we pull on it, it would go this way and down. Oh shit, that's broke. No wonder. Anyway, I did good on that. Problem occurred is when we started pulling it, ye old rope broke. And that was bad, because then the limb swung back this way, facing this guy. And it took about another hour, me up and down the tree, retying the rope, getting back out on that limb that was already cut, put another rope in it. Could have died, probably should have died, because that's what stupid gets you, is death. But I didn't die. eventually, it fell down and missed my carport, which is what we wanted. So, did it go right? No. Did it go well enough? Yes. So, that was done. Got the other limb down off his deal, which wasn't a big deal. Other than me get my scary ass up there and do it. Do not like that. Is that why you hanging up? I think that's why it's hanging up. Anyway, I saved myself the embarrassment and embarrassment to all tree cutters how that went by not filming that. So kiddo, my dear boy, it was not pretty. Wish you'd have been here, but hey, that's where we are. Anyway, cutting the tree down itself also almost went horribly wrong. Damn, I really hate that's broken. Anyway, that worked out. And it shouldn't have. As you can see, all the weight was on that side of the tree. Because some dum-dum, this dum-dum, cut all the limbs off that side of the tree. But I didn't want to scar up my neighbor's yard by having all those limbs, dig all in his yard and all that stuff. So that's why I did that. But I was fairly confident we could pull it over. I mean, I was right. But if El Ropo would have broke no more power in my house, because it would have went the other way and that would have been that. Anyway, Lady Luck was on my side, helped the old man out. Very much appreciated. Because now it's down. Now all I gotta do is clean it up. A little help from my friend. Which everybody knows this is the most hated saw in existence. Other than the Chinese ones. But I have managed to figure out why they don't run and why they act the way they do. And why so many of them been thrown in the trash, beaten with a hammer, and otherwise discarded. I won't get into all that because that's not important. What's important is this is probably my favorite chainsaw. Once you figure out how to get them to run correctly all the time, not just sometimes. Since I'm talking good about it, it's probably not even going to crank. Because isn't that how that's supposed to go? Come on. Come on. We're on camera here. So let's not make an ass out of Kevin. jiving. We're not jiving. And lies the problem. Anyway, as you will see in just a few moments, or minutes, maybe longer, there was a sizable oak tree I took down. It was 32 at the stump. With all the limbs and stuff on it, because it was just a fairly healthy oak. Dirty. This little guy, in all its glory, cut most of it up. Why? Because it's a mighty Mac. I don't care if you hate them. I love it. I have several of these. This one seems to be my favorite, even though they're basically all identical. Basically, if you want one to run right, you need to take that Walbro carburetor off. That's because they're all old, and you need to throw that Walbro carburetor as far as you can throw it. You just get that out of your life, because it's never going to do you any justice. And you find your Zima, and put that on there. Too tight, too tight, too tight, too tight, Kevin. And that will greatly improve its running capabilities. Secondly, make sure your coil is operating properly. Because if they get hot, if it's a bad coil, it'll get hot and it'll quit firing right. So then you get all this sporadic running, which sounds like a carburetor problem, and it won't be a carburetor problem. It'll be a coil issue. Too tight again. Anyway, I figured all that out. At least that's what worked on this saw. And it is my favorite, or at least second favorite. Because it is just a wee little 35cc, tiny little girl. I can fix that. Maybe I fixed it. There's a little chunk tore out of my bar right here from yesterday's events. And I will not be climbing any more trees. I put that on my Murtaugh list for shit I'm too old for. There we go. I thank you. I thank you very much. Can use a little love there. And some love there. Anyway, this little guy with 18-inch bar on it is a beautiful thing. So, anyway, off to the tree. My neighbor's yard. My house. Let's see if my 795 act right. I would like to run that today. It ran a little while ago, but that doesn't mean it's going to run shortly, which I prefer to do, because I do love that one too. Anyway, my Mighty Mac has reduced it to this. Yep, Mighty Mac did all of that in about an hour, give or take 15 minutes. Now, where to put this little guy at? Should I put it on the tree? Yeah. Nah, let's get on the other side. Fortunately, I don't do this kind of work hardly much at all anymore. And my shoulders suck. I don't like that angle either. Let's get on the tree. See what happens. See what happens with all that. Bear with me, kiddo, and the other 3 or 4 people that might be watching. I apologize. Well, this is not a movie quality situation. So let's do it right here. I'm gonna get up and look. Make sure we're in a good position. And there. I should go further down. Anyway, I miss doing this stuff. It was a lot of fun. And I got to do it more. But like I said, I don't get to anymore. Crap. I can't see. Too short. Oh yeah. I forgot about this maneuver. Down periscope. There we go. That's more better. Much more better. If y'all don't understand Southern slang, that means that's more better. Or that's what I want. Now let's see. If all this will stay where I want it to. If you fall over, my apologies. I'll be back. color, $7.95. A beautiful sound of the 60s. Oh, choked it down. Guess I could have left it running. Oh my goodness. I knew, should have known. Left the way it was. Thanks a lot. Well, I think we flooded it. We'll let her sit over here for a little while. Let her think about what it did. Break out the sound of 2001 Husky 372 X-Torque. Another hated saw, but I like it. Guess who didn't put gas in it? Why are you stuck? See, that ain't good right there. Somebody didn't put gas in it. Now somebody's got a problem.